Let me ask you a question. What if I told you that tomorrow was going to be the last day you're going to live? What if I told you that the time, minutes, and hours, and days, and years that you think you have are going to be cut short and your life is going to end tomorrow? What would you do if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that today was going to be the last day you're going to live? How would you approach this day? What would you say to your loved ones? And how would you live this day out if you knew that it was your last day on earth? Well, in this video, I want to share with you a scripture that kind of helps us understand why we should think about this and how we should live our life, and a prayer that Moses prayed because he understood that life was short and that one day it would be gone. So please, stay to the end of this video. It's going to be a blessing to your life. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, do me a favor and subscribe, hit the like button, as this channel is geared to build your faith in Jesus so that you could continue to fight the good fight of faith. So the scripture I want to talk about is in the book of Psalms, and it's a prayer by Moses. But this scripture caught my attention because it's something that we should be praying also. It's something that we should really think about as we live our life, because tomorrow is not promised. The Bible actually says that today is a day of salvation because you don't know if you have tomorrow to live. And this is what Moses says. It says, "So teach us to number our days, that we may get a heart of wisdom." So Moses is telling God, teach us to number our days. Teach us to look at life through the perspective that tomorrow may never come. Help us to understand this concept of life being short and of the essence, so that we can gain a heart of wisdom, so that we can have wisdom to live out our days, so that we can have wisdom to put what's very important or most important at the forefront of our life in our days. And I want to ask you something. What is your purpose and destiny? Have you thought about, if you were to die today and go before God, what would you tell God your purpose on earth was? Or would God find purpose in your life? Will God say that you lived out your God-given destiny and purpose with the giftings he has given you? Or would God say you just wasted your life away doing what everyone else does? Working, toiling, doing everything the book of Ecclesiastes says. You know, nothing is new under the sun. We toil, we work, and then boom, it's all for nothing. Because in reality, the one thing that's the most important thing is our perspective, to understand that life is short and we have to get our priorities in check so that we can live a life of purpose, a life of peace, but a life that honors God. So your purpose and destiny is attached to your relationship with God. God will give you your purpose and your destiny and your assignment and mission when you allow him to lead and guide your life. So if you were to leave this earth, did you live out your God-given purpose and destiny? Were you doing things that furthered the kingdom, or were you doing things that didn't further anything at all? Were you just working to make money and pay bills and take care of your family? Or were you living for a greater purpose, to take risk and to trust God that he will show up and show out, which allows you to build your faith and trust a God who's all powerful and almighty? Are you living a life of regret? Or are you living a life knowing that you're walking towards the will of God in your life? And I want to share with you that I went through really valleys and battles in my life where I'm like, God, I want to give you everything, but God, am I giving you everything? God, am I doing what you want me to do? And I found out that I want to live a life that honors God. I want to live a life that takes risk. I want to live a life that has purpose. I want to live a life trusting God, even when it seems uncertain or scary, or you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how God is going to work this out, but you know deep down in you that you're not doing what you're created to do by God. You know deep down in you that you're not walking out your God-given purpose and destiny with the gift that God has given you. And if that's you, then I'm talking to you. If you feel like, man, I feel like I'm just not doing what I know I'm supposed to do, I'm not living out my purpose and destiny with the giftings that God has given me, I want to share with you that it's not too late. that you could make a choice today, that you could look past the uncertainty, that you could look fear in the face and say, my God is greater, and that you could walk out your God-given destiny by taking a risk to trust God. And I say risk because in our own natural nature, we feel like it's a risk. But when we really trust God, it's never a risk because God is in control and God is going to work everything out for the good of those who love him and are called according to his will and his purpose. So I want you to think about this prayer that Moses said. He said, help us to number our days so that we can gain a heart of wisdom. And that's my prayer, that you will number your days, that you will think about your purpose and destiny God has created you for, that you'll walk out your God-given abilities and giftings and destiny, trusting God and believing that no matter what happens, that you're going to walk in purpose, that you're going to walk in faith, that you're going to walk in trust in Jesus, because he is the one that will work all things together if you're walking according to his purpose for your life. But don't allow the world, don't allow society, don't allow anything to get in the way of your true purpose and destiny. If you feel like something just ain't sitting right in your spirit, if you feel like the job you're at or what you're doing right now is just not where you're supposed to be, if you feel like God has more for you, that God has something in store for you, that if you are prophesied over, I feel right now in the spirit that if you've been prophesied over, that you have a destiny and purpose to be in ministry and to walk out your calling and to be an ambassador and someone who evangelizes or preaches the gospel, and you're working a job because you have to pay your bills. I want you to trust God. I want you to step out in faith. I want you to trust God and say, God, open a door, God, where I can walk in my destiny and purpose, where I can walk doing what you have called me to do. If it's ministry, if it's to start a business, whatever, if it's to write a book, whatever it may be, God knows what it is. And I know that God is going to help you accomplish it because God is faithful and true. But number your days. What would you do if you knew that tomorrow you will be gone? Live every day as if it's your last. Live every day as if you are walking into eternity with God. Because in reality, we are. In reality, we don't know how long we have on earth. In reality, we don't know when Jesus is returning. In reality, he could come right now. And in reality, we might not have tomorrow. So I hope that this video blessed you. And like I said earlier, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel. Help us grow so that we can put more videos out that will help build your faith in Jesus. And like always, be blessed.